Back it up.
There it is.
Hey, everybody.
Right.
It is Thursday night. Welcome to Fake Your Action. It has been a crazy, strange, fun day. It's me, Trustarscreamer, with T-Man 978 and Zero. It has been a slow week in accusations, and we are going straight to talking about the wonderful, new, awesome, by the way, I bought a house, wonderful, new, awesome Studio 86 line. We have no idea what the heck happened to us technically. We're going to skip away a lot of the bad jokes, but I will tell you this. About 11 years ago, I was talking to I remember my buddy Eric running out screaming with tears in his eyes saying, "Oh my God, it's a boy, it's a boy, it's a boy." And we never went back to Thailand ever again. Anyway, let's talk about these Studio 86 figures.
Oh, but before we do, and we do apologize. This is the craziest thing. We had a great intro this evening to explain the absence of Joe Crab. Unfortunately, we don't have Partsformer on here tonight. But I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to play our intro real quick.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Joe Crab will not be on tonight's episode. However, even in his crabsence, our program is committed to bringing you crab. We will not have a crab-free figure action. So I present to you... Really?
So seriously,
I'm thinking when people rewatch it, they'll see everything we did before.
And okay, before we go back here, dude, you boys over there are freaking dedicated. We've been here a whole half hour. We thought we were talking to you, and you've been sitting there chatting and stuff like that. Oh my God, these guys are amazing.
Shout out to the chat squad for hanging out. I definitely did hit the go live button. We had some internet hiccups on my end earlier. I had to reboot. So maybe it was that. Maybe it was Matt. I'm just gonna blame
I do
Matt.
need to log out and come back in. Kevin called me and knocked my audio out.
Oh my God. So yeah.
Calvin Carpenter says, "What happened, folks?" Well, we don't exactly know. We hit go live. Nothing really seemed to happen, and
okay. I'll give you guys the short version. Yes, the new place has a finished basement, and I expected to move in mid to late December. When I do move, I will be, am I the only one on here right now? Cool. When I do move, I will have a Twitch stream strictly of me unboxing and setting up the room. Because let me tell you, that is going to be an escapade into itself. I will just go on. I will have a camera set up. It's going to be nothing but me opening up boxes, commenting, talking, and putting stuff on shelves. That is going to be my Twitch channel in December.
Nightwing and I never left. I just turn off my camera when I go over to the mini fridge.
And I will get a mini fridge for the basement. Oh my gosh. And geez, I got a ninja for this week. I got a house and a ninja. He got a whole bunch of Hasbro exclusives, and
Yes.
he just got like Storm and Thunderbird. So anyway, let's talk about these 86 Studio Figure Series figures.
They're gonna get great with the Quintesson Pin of Judgment. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my God, this is a snafu tonight.
Yeah, well, hey, technical difficulties happen, but again.
I can't wait to see Blur and Grimlock.
Yeah, I know. If these are in somebody's photos unboxed, I think it's only a matter of time before Prime versus Prime and Tauntaun are looking at them.
Tomorrow they're having the Fan First Friday for Transformers, so maybe they're going to show everything tomorrow. They better not show Hot Rod and Jazz. I'll be pissed.
So the question for me, for everybody, is: are we going to be army building our skirt? Are we army building the Scourges?
Yes.
To have some sweets?
$30, no.
I'll do it, but I'll only get. That's the thing, is like 2 or 3 sweeps. What's your take on it, Dave?
1 Scourge and 2 sweeps.
Yeah, that's how I look at it.
I do still have my Titans Return and Generation Scourge.
which both were good figures. I gotta say, Titans Return Scourge caught me off guard. I know we aren't all the biggest Titans Return fans, but for what it was, that had some solid love.
Now, I want to go back to talking about this Grimlock here because he comes with Wheelie.
Start talking about the Grimlock.
Or start talking about the Grimlock.
You guys are awesome.
When New Grimlock was coming, and Dave and I, we're kind of having some back and forth with it. Like, I think it's cool it comes with Wheelie. I think it's cool. It's a leader class size figure because, I mean, look, he's got a simple transformation. He's probably mostly hollow, though hopefully not. Hopefully he's a solid figure like they've been doing.
Well, one last thing. And before anyone says, T-Man says he wants to stay at my house, he's staying upstairs with the family. He's not staying in the basement. T-Man's not staying in any side area. He's not staying in some shed. T-Man is coming over. He's staying in my house with where I would treat the rest of my family before anybody, and he knows exactly who I'm talking to, says anything about that. Okay.
And Sportimus says Wheelie no transform. I don't know. Wheelie shouldn't be all that difficult to handle. I mean, I was kind of curious.
In the movie.
He did.
Did he?
Yeah, he turned into his car mode.
It looks like he's in a seated position right now. So yeah. I don't know.
He could be a little static figure. I almost kind of was hoping that they would just reuse the Power of the Primes wheelie. Yeah.
That actually was a better wheelie than we ever should have gotten.
Yeah.
Just paint him right.
Yeah, exactly. Just paint him right. And I think what they should have done is sold Wheelie and a Sharkticon as a 2-pack or something. And then give Wheelie like his slingshot, give him the accessories that the Titans Return one did not have. Because, I mean...
They could do a Sharkticon 3-pack.
They could do a Sharkticon 3-pack. I'd love that. Since they, hey, with the Pit of Judgment, even though this isn't Studio Series 86, they are reusing the Titans Return Sharkticon.
That was a perfect mold, too. I have to say, for when it came out, that was perfect.
Yeah. And we've seen them reuse the Titans Return clones for Earthrise, and I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. You make a good figure, reuse it.
So we want to get two Sharkticons at Target or something.
Yeah. And again, before we had our technical difficulties, it was unprompted.
Oh.
I actually said it when we were off the air, just so you know. Once again, I have no problem with Grimlock being not having a sword because, again, in the movie and in season 3, he was pretty much in his Dinobot mode 95% of the time. It was one of the things that ticked me so much off about season 3.
Also, I got an Oculus Quest 2. Yeah, I think Kevin's getting one. We've been talking about it on Messenger, so I think he's either getting it or already got it.
You know what? Grimlock can just swing Wheelie around as a sword.
Yeah. Are you two gonna play? Are you and Kevin gonna play some Fighting Vipers?
No. No. Don't. No.
He might not ever play with Jordan after that comment.
So Mark 44. This has been kind of a I guess a running joke for the past 8 minutes. We went live at 9, but it didn't take, and so we had people messaging T asking like, "Are you guys not doing this tonight?" And we had a chat going. We thought we were live, and
Andrew, hello to you and the missus or future missus. Get her own YouTube account so she can chime in, so that way she doesn't have to talk when you fall asleep. We love you guys.
So, I guess from the takeaway here, the boxes look good. These aren't the clear shots. We got clear shots of the boxes.
The boxes look good. The backdrops look amazing. I hope to God the plastic is better than the Bayverse stuff.
Yes, Mark 44. We did hauls. But we kind of
when you
breezed
watch
through.
The episode again, all that stuff should be on there. Hopefully.
T-Man got Storm and Thunderbird. He got his Hasbro Pulse stuff, which is all the stuff that T-Man got last week, and I got my Amazon Storm Shadow.
Yeah. I get Pimp Daddy Destro and the Supreme Leader Cobra Commander.
And I am no longer homeless.
Yeah. The Pit of Judgment. And the Lord Draken. Yep, fell backwards. The Lord Draken Evo 3 set. So, and
the guy who did IT for a living. Anyway.
Yes. All right. So we've got better shots of the Studio Series 86 stuff. Not everything, but unfortunately, the only official product shots we got now. I think before we went live, T was saying that tomorrow is the Fan First Friday with Hasbro Pulse. So hopefully we get better looks.
Hot Rod looks amazing. Hot Rod
he does.
Immediate thought. That is like hands down everything I've ever wanted. Okay, I got the buzzsaw, I got the Matrix, I got the freaking light up. I hear Stan Bush in the background effect on there. The gun effects.
And a visor to pull down.
Now I kind of wonder.
Let the plastic be good. Please let the plastic be good.
Since we're getting these, I wonder if the demand for the Dead Optimus Prime is going to shoot up.
Oh,
the one that came out from Amazon.
I didn't think about that.
Then we need a Perceptor.
We do need a Perceptor.
And Blaster. I bet you we get Blaster.
I hope we do.
Bless y'all.
But I love these backdrops. Like I got rid of the backdrops from all the previous Studio Series, but like these, ooh.
Yeah, these I'll keep, especially that moon-based one.
Yeah.
You're gonna need the Unicron one when Unicron shows up.
I hear the 80s synthesizer for that backdrop.
This
only thing I don't like is the feet hanging out, and I think Hot Rod has feet hanging out too in the car mode.
He's got the hollow arms too, but I'll deal. That spoiler's huge.
Yes.
So Nightwing says if they did a line for the 80s cartoon, I'd be in on it. I honestly, the way Chug is kind of seeing a renaissance, I've said this on previous episodes. I can kind of see them taking, after Kingdom is done, just kind of making Generations, the Black Series, Marvel Legends equivalent of Transformers, and just doing characters from whatever line they want to do, be it a current line, like they're doing a Lightning collection, so you can get your Beast Morphers characters in there, and then they have a more kid-centric line running concurrently with it. Same thing with Star Wars and Marvel. I'd like them to take that approach. And then you just have one line of Transformers. I think it's interesting. It's like almost like the Generations line is becoming what we always... The reason why a lot of people migrated to Masterpiece. Yeah.
It took them 10 years to get there.
Yeah.
15 years.
And I think the problem with Masterpiece, and some people disagree, is that they are pricing themselves into oblivion.
Well, remember, if you go back to one of our older shows, and this was right before Siege came out, the question was asked, if they gave us a mid-range line that was slightly higher priced, that was between Chug and Masterpiece, would we buy it? Gentlemen?
No, the answer is yes.
This is it.
Yeah.
This is exactly it. Right here. I'm surprised Jazz doesn't have any effects or anything, to be honest, but this is exactly what you were talking about, was it, when we first started this show? This was one of our first discussions.
To an extent, they've been throwing us bones left and right, where one character would be extremely G1, and then the next would be stylized. Like, I think the first Generations RC was extremely G1, just she wasn't colored right.
So Jay Hollow brings up a good point. Studio Series uses different engineering than War for Cybertron. I mean, with the War for Cybertron line, they definitely have standards where there's ankle pivot on all figures, and for the most part, all but a couple figures have waists.
Looking at you, Starscream.
Yeah.
I'm
that
doubting that this has ankle pivot. I'm
No,
looking at it. I'm
Jazz
trying to see
definitely
it.
does. You can see right here.
Oh, it does? Let me zoom in.
Maybe that's part of the transformation, but
You know what? Even though they call this studio series, I believe it's all the same.
Yeah.
It's all the same freaking thing.
I mean,
They're using the same engineering from what I can see.
this is basically doing what they did with the Siege line with effects pieces and everything, but not
Mhm.
putting the little dimples or siege holes, as they're called, on the figures.
RC doesn't have it either, so she was probably made for this line, and they just threw her in Earthrise.
Yeah, you're more than likely right. Now, studio series means, it's kind of weird. Like, studio series could be what they do for film and animation. I mean, what's to stop them from making Transformers Prime studio series or Cyberverse or, whatever
They could turn studio series into, honestly, the higher end collector's line.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then just kind of.
It's weird to me because it's, even though they're naming it two different things, they're all the same thing. Everything in Earthrise is G1 all over again.
Yeah.
So it's like we're getting that already.
But like I was saying, I'd like to see them come out with something akin to Marvel Legends, where you get a wave of Marvel Legends, and it could have cinematic versions of the characters. Has characters from different continuities. Not everything that they do is Earth 616, and now we're going as far as to get like Fox and Sony characters. So I would just kind of like to see that with transforming figures. I think the red line is kind of done from the start.
Well, we'll see how well that Prime RC and Cheetor do.
I mean, we had like a lunch with some of us on Saturday, and I got to mess with the red figures. T brought them. I was not impressed at all. Okay. And when it comes to like a non-transforming figure, give me more Flames Toys model kits. I don't care if I had to put them together myself, but this model kit unpainted is infinitely more impressive than that red Optimus Prime.
How dare you? It better be $50.
Well, we paid 14, so
you did.
That's true.
Well, I paid 14. I just don't have anything. I never got refunded or jack. Not that I'm bitter.
So
yeah, this is way better.
Yeah.
Step aside, son.
So next up, check your Walgreens, because Earthrise Blue Streak is allegedly a Walgreens exclusive. This comes from TFW 2005. Some folks on the Facebook groups have been finding them too. The first sighting was in Louisville, Kentucky. So
that could have been my next stop after going to Ross for no reason.
I don't think he's been sighted in Maryland yet.
Kevin always finds that stuff before me.
I actually got some comments in here. Nightwing says we'll need a chug scale gun mode Megatron done by third party. I'm sure that'll happen, to be honest. I could see companies like New Age doing, and this is kind of interesting how things come full circle. Like, third party started out with chug. I can see third party returning to chug.
Mm-hmm.
And Jay Hall says Studio Series 86 is separate from the Studio Series. Hot Rod is number 1. Jazz is number 4. Yeah, I could see them even doing Studio Series lines if they were inclined to do it, to separate the Bayverse out from the different animations. Again, if they were inclined to do it. Now, interestingly enough, they didn't separate the Bumblebee movie out from the Bayverse, and those are two different continuities.
Well, that was also the way the Bumblebee movie came out during Bumblebee movie, so
yeah.
That was striking while the iron's hot. I cannot blame them for that.
Plus, they didn't make that decision until after people wanted them to make it separate. Because they're still courting the idea of it being part of the Bayverse.
Yeah. Yeah, there are some people that argue it is, and it's not. It's not.
It shouldn't be, because it wouldn't make any sense.
No.
Since
Well,
Bumblebee was part of World War II.
Yeah, some people like up the bottomists like to argue that it is part of the continuity. You go on his Twitter, you'll see his deranged tweets about how it's part because Simmons is in there. It's like, I think Simmons is just an established character. Yeah. Antoine says he's got his own pre-order from the Chosen Prime. They had a few to sell on their website. It's interesting because there were some people that said they were able to get Blue Streak from Amazon as well. I think this is an odd duck where I think they decided last minute they were just going to make this the year's Walgreens exclusive. I'm in for this. I've been keeping an eye out, and I've got several Walgreens near me. I've got 2 very close to my house and 1 not far away.
This has been my only year for having trouble with Walgreens exclusives. My only year, which thankfully these gentlemen here helped me out with getting the Dino Thunder, which I did actually he did finally show up down here, but I never saw Moon Knight. You had to get me that Moon Knight.
Yeah,
I never saw him. I never saw him. That was the first. That's the first Marvel Legend I never could find.
I did have trouble. I only saw Mystique once, too, but I did find it.
All right. Next up, last in our official news, Beast Wars is getting an actual run with IDW. It seems like Hasbro is all in on Beast Wars right now.
Cool.
And this is interesting. It looks like they're doing a very Transformers animated inspired look.
I was going to say that looks more like Lost Light art.
Yeah, there is quite a bit of Lost Light influence in there. It's kind of like a hybrid of Derek Wyatt and Nick Roche art.
Yeah, I mean,
well, a lot of people seem to think this is Sonar. They've said the character is female, but they haven't named her yet.
I mean, they do have Mighty Chins of Justice. I'll give you that. But
go back up. There's I thought there was a larger version of that picture, but Rat Trap's there. There's more art. I'm looking to see what happens with this. What makes me interested is if we can get some figures. Hey, MMC, do some Beast Wars. Just saying.
I don't trust the way those legs are. Well, I mean,
they can do it.
Yeah.
All these companies have been proving us wrong. What's really is crazy is those spikes on Optimus's head.
Yeah, they're not going to be. Yeah. Yeah, they would definitely chunk those up a bit, but MMC, give me some Beast Wars, MMC.
We already know Hasbro is just going with Kingdom, and you better live with it.
That Kingdom Primal looks great.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you agree, Layla? Layla agrees.
Yeah, I even like his gorilla mode. I'm gonna have trouble deciding on which one to keep him in.
I might keep my Kingdom stuff in Beast mode, just since I've got the Masterpiece stuff and it's like spot on. But with Kingdom, they've definitely done like the Beast modes a lot of justice.
When I said that the other day, I didn't think about the pun until I was actually saying it out of my mouth. When I said Cheetor was spot on.
All right, so not much in the realm of third-party news for the week. We've got Deluxe. You are not a nobody. I'd send you the StreamYard link right now if you want to hop on.
He primed the crowd before I could get on here.
Yeah, right. Light of Justice is getting a re-release. So if you haven't picked a Masterpiece scale Optimus Prime and you want him to be shiny, Magic
Meh.
Square is, yeah, I'm totally meh on
you
this.
got a trailer now? Wait, is this the little one?
Yeah, this is the little one.
Oh.
So I take that back. That's not the masterpiece scale.
So if you want a little prime.
Yeah, if you want a little prime and you haven't picked one up
tiny
now.
prime.
You know, it kind of says something for them when I saw this picture and I thought it was the masterpiece. I was like,
And you were kind of downplaying it too. It's like, okay, yeah, it's this thing again. I was like, wait, hold on. So that's actually does, yeah.
Yeah, if Matt were here, he'd be ripping me a new one right now. Don't talk about Magic Square. Don't speak that ugliness on them. All right, and not only are we getting a metallic version of that Light of Justice figure, well, Zeta, in typical Zeta Toy World fashion, they're re-releasing Superion, if you haven't gotten him yet, or Superitron, in a couple of flavors.
Or, hi, here's 5 jets. Plug them into this plastic thing, and it looks like anyway.
I think this is a great set. I actually really love this set. Now it's interesting. We have a celebrity in the house. We have Mr. Deluxe Baldwin. I know he loves his clear repaints. Matt, I want to know, are you in on this? Because
you better. That's the ultimate clear. Isn't that the biggest clear figure ever?
No, there's two. There's actually, I think, 2 or 3 clear versions of Constructor.
Oh, I forgot he has a billion versions.
So,
Constructor is like Jolly Rancher. There's every flavor you can find.
Yeah.
So he says, heck yeah, he's getting this one.
Are the hands clear too?
Yeah, everything's clear.
So they just set him on a clear plastic, plexiglass shelf with a spotlight underneath of it.
You can get like one of those turntables that's lit up. I think Ben's Collectibles has one. And yep, he says there's 2 green and orange. So you get your G2 and G1 varieties. Silverland says, does Deluxe Baldwin owe me a hug?
Yes, he does.
And he responds back with, man, come over here. I'll give you that hug. Which, if you're at TFCon 2021 and provided...
And both of them were at TFCon, I want to point out.
Yeah.
I got my hug from Baldwin, and I think I did a shot with CobraCon.
So, yeah, I'm in on neither of these. I don't really see how this one's metallic. It looks more pearlescent than metallic. But, honestly, yeah. If you don't have a Superion or Superitron yet, I think the metallic one would probably be the one to get. I think that looks pretty nice.
How much?
It depends. I have no idea what the going rate for combiner sets from Zeta is right now. It's interesting because like the Zeta sets actually come at a discount. So like when Bruticon came out, it was $250. Nightwing says $500, and yeah, I'm sure some sites are going to have it for $500.
Yeah,
Sportimus says $430. With shipping from China these days, I'm pretty certain that the prices of these have kind of like gone up. I got my Superion piece by piece, and the Silverbolt was a birthday gift. I think it was actually the first birthday gift Lex ever gave me. So that's one of those things that's never going to go anywhere. Yeah, buying them piece by piece, they weren't that bad. I think each limb was only $60 shipped.
Yeah, they were
60, 120, 180, 240.
Yeah. Well, Silverbolt, when he came out, even with all the pieces, I want to say he was about 120 to 140, depending on where you got him from.
Okay, 240 plus 140 is 380. There you go.
Yeah. And yeah, I know there was one point where the G2, like I don't know if anybody else remembers GCI, but he had the G2 constructor for
don't
something.
Talk about GCI.
No, we don't. But he was selling that set for like $260, and I was like, that close to pulling the trigger on it.
Good thing you didn't, because you'd still be waiting.
No, I always got all my stuff from him. It was just right when he was going through his personal issues that he stopped shipping stuff. But that'll do it
Hopefully
for
not
the.
anything was paid for.
That'll do it for the. What's that, T?
Never mind. I'm gonna let that go.
That'll do it for our Transformers topics for tonight. Let's move on. Actually, we might discuss if we have time at the end, because I want to talk. I've been meaning to talk about this fans toy shit that's going on. Next up, not too much to talk about here. McFarlane has teased a medieval Spawn on Kickstarter. So on Facebook, there's video posted by Todd where he talked about how there's going to likely be a second Spawn Kickstarter. He opens the video by saying he thinks it's going to be medieval Spawn. By the end of the video, it sounded more certain this was coming sooner rather than later. Dave, you're not excited about this.
Nope.
I know, because for you, it was kind of a bait and switch with all this. I know we've talked about it before.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I already own an articulated Spawn. I bought it from the Mortal Kombat line.
Mhm.
I was happy with that. And I thought that this would be a even cooler version of that. And like Nightwing said, it's another Spawn to disappoint me. And you know what? I'm sure it's going to look absolutely gorgeous. But I'm sure I could spend that money and buy a Spawn statue, because I find it really stupid to build a figure that's got articulation that can only be articulated into one pose. And if you try to do any other articulation, it just looks dumb. And you might as well just buy a statue.
It's kind of strange too, because it's like McFarlane has been having this kind of renaissance almost.
Oh, I was I say this every time. I was the first guy when McFarlane action figure lines came out with the Fortnite. I'm like, meh. Then T-Man started talking about them, and then I got my hands on that first freaking Batman Who Laughs. And I was like, okay, wow, this is pretty cool. And next thing I know, I've got every goddamn freaking Dark Knight on pre-order except for the Grim Knight. And of course, Walmart keeps pushing that back.
Wow.
But
Kev says you can sell it for $300 right now.
I'll sell it when I get it in my hands.
What's interesting too is, like, I picked up the Devastator, the Doomsday Batman for Matt, and I got a chance to check that figure out. That's a lot of art, and it's well articulated. That figure, which I picked up for $15, well, technically $16 at Walmart.
Yeah, that didn't show freaking here in North Carolina.
I'm still looking for you. I'm doing a hunt tomorrow at lunch, so I will be.
Let me know
looking.
If you find all 4 of them, let me know so I can cancel my Walmart order.
Will do. That figure, even at the normal price point, puts a lot of the deluxe Marvel Legends to shame. Just to be honest, like, it doesn't come with extra hands or heads, but it has an articulated jaw. We were messing with it at the table. We got it into some really cool poses, and I was just like, "Wow, this is crazy for
McFarlane is
McFarlane."
articulated as well.
I didn't even notice that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. But yeah, they did not make really any concessions with that, and it's kind of a shame.
The only thing that I can complain about is the shorts are pliable and the leg, but they're not super pliable, so the leg can't kick forward that much. But other than that, the articulation is amazing for how big it is. The shoulders.
That's what the ladies tell me.
I picked up the Murder Machine Batman for myself, and like I've been really impressed with that figure. That's probably one of my favorite. I mean, it's not a 6-inch scale, but it's
You should get Batman Who Laughs. That thing is, I love it. I love that figure. I'm missing messing with that guy right now.
I keep seeing him. Maybe that'll be an impulse buy for me, as I'm selling all these Chug figures.
I mean, I want the whole Dark Knight line. It's going to be a beautiful shelf, plain and simple.
But I guess like what I'm getting at here is it's like it sucks that the Kickstarter figure, and again, we don't have it in hand. I'm sure somebody will do a review. I'm sure Todd will probably get a few of them out to reviewers, probably maybe Shartimus. And I'd love to see, I'd love to be proven wrong, is what I'm getting at. Because
I'm hoping everybody has to wait for them because it was a Kickstarter. Because I pre-ordered it too.
Well, they said it was due out in November. I mean, we're a month away now.
Todd had a finished figure.
Yeah, and they've been showing off the packaging, but you think by now
figure, it had the Necroblast, it had all the stuff on there.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it will be a wonderful display piece. I'm not going to knock anybody who wants this figure. I want to say that for the record. If this is your thing, this is exactly your thing, and you're getting exactly the perfect version of this thing. The thing is, this isn't Trustarscreamer's thing. Okay? For your thing. I don't need your thing in my stuff. That totally did not sound right.
No, it didn't. I want to be excited for this one. Jedi Mindset says in the chat he wants to add forehead sculpts, metal in the weapons, 24 points of articulation, which 20 of those points will be in the head, which, hey, he's probably not wrong there. The article states 5 different mastheads, some with articulated face shields to show the face underneath. Medieval Spawn was my first Spawn figure back in the 90s when I was a kid, and it's kind of crazy, but when I got it, I guess I'm making a very roundabout point about McFarlane and articulation. Back when I got that Medieval Spawn, that was the most articulated action figure I ever owned. And it's kind of crazy to say that about McFarlane and think, like, wait, that was your exposure to articulation. It really was, because I think like I was exposed to Transformers and Kenner and Ninja Turtles, and those were all like 5 POA figures. Well, Ninja Turtles not so much. Ninja Turtles tended to have like elbows, but not elbows. They were just like elbow swivels. You know, they would have an elbow.
Because I don't remember this figure.
I'll pull it up real quick.
My thoughts on this is I don't care. I don't know nothing about this Spawn.
I mean, I read the comic when I was a kid with Medieval Spawn. I mean, it's been a long time.
When he first was showing it, I thought it was Batman because it had two spikes right here.
Well, there's one on eBay. But yeah, I mean, it's just kind of crazy to think, you know, hey, look at all that articulation.
Yeah, I remember when that came out. So,
but he had knees, so I was kind of blown away by the fact that he had knees.
Did the arms go out?
I can't remember the arms. I think they might have been on. I think they look like straight up swivels now that I look at it. But the fact that he had knees, and here I am sitting like that was the most articulated figure I had. But yeah, like I
you can
move the shoulder pads. Yeah, the fact that he had knees, the paint on it was far crisper than what you would get on like a Playmates or a Kenner figure. Interesting how nostalgia makes you think back. This one's missing its chains too. I think it had chains.
Yeah, no, I'm saying I would love actually more to have a Medieval Spawn in the Mortal Kombat style figure.
Here's one in the actual packaging.
But yeah, I actually have hopes for that because they're doing that Samurai Spawn in the gold version, in the gold editions.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that coming out. Bless you.
Thank you.
Next up, we don't have Matt here to talk about it, but I think I'll just show it off real quick. Going on our topic of Kickstarters, the next tier for the Mandalorian Kickstarter came out from HasLab, and hey, you're now going to get Carbonite. You're going to get a set of 4 prisoners frozen in Carbonite.
Somebody said they wanted that too.
If I did 3 3/4, I'd be excited about this. Or if I was a vehicle collector,
there's a John Walker Customs actually was making 1/12 scale Razor Crest. So if you did want one for a 6-inch Mandalorian, look up John Walker Customs. He'll get you one for that.
The cool thing about this, though, is if you buy this, you don't have to buy all the 3 3/4 inch. You just buy the Mandalorian ones.
Yeah.
Right, but it'll be a good display.
Mm-hmm. I don't know where Zero would put it.
No, I don't have room for it. I have no room for that.
It could sit on your makeshift little sales area back there.
Honestly, I'm actually going to put some shelves up in the office, and I
that wall behind you could use some shelves.
Well, eventually.
Put some slat wall there.
The only problem is like where the treadmill is. The treadmill still needs to have clearance to come down. I'm debating on whether or not I want to keep the Bayverse Studio Series stuff because I'm collecting the movie Masterpiece and a lot of the third party, and it's interesting. Like with Chug stuff, I'm more satisfied with the Chug stuff these days. But when it comes to like Bayverse, I'm far more satisfied with the Masterpiece versions than I am with the Chug scale. So it's an odd predicament to be in.
I was going to say keep the original cast, but those are what's been released in movie Masterpiece, and if you have all of them, it's no use.
Basically, yeah.
We got another topic.
We got a couple more. Next up, we've got the NECA, Bebop, and Rocksteady, because these are repaints that everybody was clamoring for. We get the bunny costumes from Loot Crate, and the Turtles in Time pirate versions. The only thing I can say positive about the pirate versions is that the pixels on here are kind of neat. Normally, I don't like the pixel designs on there, but hey,
the Easter bunnies.
It's a thing. I'm just leaving it at that.
Of the two, if I were to get any of them, I would like to have the Easter ones just to put out on Easter. But yeah, as Dave's saying, it's a thing. And last up,
I'm not a TMNT fanatic.
The pre-orders went live for the Witcher figures from McFarlane, and these look pretty good. And these are available on Amazon right now.
I posted the links on my page.
You can get them on Team Amazon.
That would look really good.
Two Geralt?
Yes, there's 2 Geralts.
Geralt?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I only have 1 on there.
They did a good job of making the vinyl on this look like cloth, I will say.
I bet that would look really good with some Mythic Legions.
I bet it would.
So you've got because if there's one looks older than the other, and of course you got the whole basket full, the bunch of heads there.
I know that was 25.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the one I've seen.
Yeah, that's this is your more traditional Geralt.
So both of them are probably 25 then.
Oh yeah, this is their. I think this is supposed to be the gold editions, but listen, if you're a fan of The Witcher, this is the best piece of merchandise you're going to get. Period.
Yeah.
Outside of statues, I like the fact that again, he's a sword wielding character. They give him the universal wrists.
So technically, he only uses one sword at a time.
Yeah.
They didn't tell the photographer.
No, they didn't tell the photographer.
They didn't hire me.
They all have the universal wrists. So a buddy of mine doesn't collect figures. He gets like a rare figure here and there. I've been showing these to him, and he's really excited about them.
He likes the game.
He's a huge fan of the game.
If they do the entire Wild Hunt, that would be awesome. Okay, Nightwing, if you have not, The Witcher is a great video game. It has a lot of lore. If you've played, Witcher 2, Witcher 1 was okay. Witcher 2 is cool, and Witcher 3 is pretty much the best experience of like playing a novel I have ever played.
My only complaint with The Witcher was that it's like, for me, going into it, I was so lost in the lore. However, I will make time to eventually go and see the Netflix series, and hopefully that'll motivate me to play the game.
I'm going to get one of these for my son. He played the hell out of this game.
Jedi Mindset just says only watch the Netflix series. You know, it makes it more digestible that way.
Well, Witcher 2, I played Witcher 2. The story is great. Witcher 3, though, is honestly one of the most perfect video games I've ever played. And that's right up there with God of War 4 and Skyrim.
I vicariously watched my son play The Witcher 3. I had no idea what was going on.
That was kind of like where I was. I was like, man, I really would like to be invested in this, but I'm just having difficulties.
And then the Netflix series addresses things that were not in the video games in a really good way. Like one of the things that was, and this was since the first Witcher game, they call him the Butcher of Bavaria. That's like one of his nicknames. In the first episode of the Netflix series, you see why he's called that. So it's all in canon beautifully.
Yeah.
They all complement each other. The Netflix series is not retelling the video games. So it's all building on the lore to itself.
I need to watch that, especially since I finished The Boys season 2, so I need something else to watch.
I need to start the series because I'm getting flack from a lot of people.
All I just know is that apparently T-Man can do anything he wants.
He can. All right, so I guess we'll round off tonight's episode with a couple things I've been wanting to talk about. We'll start off.
Yes, they're real.
Oh. Well, I didn't want to talk about that, at least on camera. Where's that technical difficulties thing when I need it, you know? I made Nicey dance for nothing. Those don't even jiggle. Anyway, Fans Toys. Fans Toys has been an interesting topic as of late. I mean, we know that there's some, talking about the Superion and Zeta and prices going up. We know that there's a lot of factors in play. COVID has definitely caused some shipping disruptions, and production issues. So, there's factors there. But another factor is that China is cracking down on intellectual property theft. And there was an article a couple weeks back, a few people reported on it, news sites and all, about China busting companies for IP theft, especially after Disney got wind of it. Long story short, KOs of Hot Toys figures, and I mean there's been KOs of SH Figuarts for a while now with Marvel and Star Wars. But Fans Toys has been seeing some weird stuff going on. Now, we've talked to Nate about this, and Nate says, as far as his sources say, there's been, no reason to worry. However, some smaller sellers, East Coast Toys, the Toy Guy, their shipments of Thomas got cut. We were seeing some reports that Thomas was going to be possibly the last Fans Toys figure, which is probably going to be false. But interestingly enough, the Chosen Prime this week was selling Thomas. They got a small shipment of Thomas in, and this comes after distributors were canceling orders from other retailers, smaller retailers, and they were selling Thomas for $350. So they were selling him well above his MSRP, which is supposed to be under $200.
And they blatantly said it; they were not apologetic.
No, they took the post down. I mean, they got roasted. I mean,
Right.
I think deservedly so, to be honest. I don't have any issues with the Chosen Prime as a retailer. Their customer service, I do have some issues with. I've talked to Brandon before. He's a very nice guy. He's got a very lovely family.
Yeah,
But
they got all my money at the freaking TFCon.
yeah, they do put on great displays. But I think as a and Raphael Holloman chimes in with BBTS hasn't even gotten theirs in yet. I think as a retailer, this is kind of a scummy move. It's kind of predatory, in my opinion. I understand they're in the business of making money, but it's just kind of crazy that what's up with the scarcity with fans toys and their distributor cutting people's shipments. I mean, some people had some really good points in the comments, like, "Hey, East Coast Toys canceled all of their orders, and here you guys are. Sure, you bought them for more, but you're selling them for way more." I mean, we saw the PulseCon stuff hit their website with huge markups. We saw the Netflix stuff hit their website with huge markups.
TF Source did the same thing with those.
Oh yeah, TF Source definitely did the same thing. And again, I understand you have to be in the business of making money. There's also a chance that you're going to buy the stuff.
They probably were buying it at full retail. That's the thing.
Yeah, but
I'm just as somebody in the retail business. I mean, I'll be honest. If I was them, I wouldn't have put it on their site at that price. I would have just immediately set up a private eBay account and sold it on those.
Yeah.
No, I'm not even saying. Just that's exactly what I would have done, and that would have taken care of the flack. They probably bought somebody's entire store, and they probably sold to them though at retail price. So yes, they buy them at cost from Fans Toys, and they put their markup on there. They probably bought somebody else who already bought them at Fans Toys, and so they had to buy that markup on top of that.
Yeah.
Since they took that post down, they might do that.
It kind of makes you wonder, though, they probably left it on the site. I think they probably sold it. I mean, and that's the crazy thing about Fans Toys is every single Fans Toys release, what happens? People did not pre-order. It comes out. People are showing pictures of theirs. Even if there's issues, is anybody selling this at a reasonable price? Always happens. Always fucking happens.
PM me for price.
Yeah, and that's what gets me. It's just like, you motherfuckers are too stingy to pre-order, but when it comes out, you're willing to pay a couple $100 over retail? What the fuck?
I was waiting for the review.
Yeah, right, exactly. I mean, with Fans Toys, it's like, worst case, cut your losses. You'll be able to make money by selling it. But yeah, I guess my point is, it's like, what's going on with these distributors where it's probably the distributor selling these things at retail. So what gives? What do you guys think? And T, I know you talked to Henry, Nate, and Sony. What have you been thinking in all of this?
I don't know. If something, well, I know one thing definitely is the COVID situation and tariffs and all that junk making stuff higher. But I hope that they aren't doing a fake scarcity thing so that we'll be worried about the stuff and buy it quicker.
Yeah, part of me thinks that maybe they are being opportunists and trying to increase demand. I mean, they've got a good thing going for them, but nothing lasts forever.
No.
I think it's interesting that like 3 years ago, Bobby was making the argument that the well is drying up, and I argued no, it's not, because they've shifted the aesthetic, and they are redoing Masterpiece in a brand new aesthetic. Brand new being like hypertune accurate.
Right. So now they're going to buy the same shit all over again.
Right.
And Fans Toys, literally, they remade Tesla and they remade Seaspray.
Yep.
Well, and Takara's on Seeker 3.0. They're on Prime 3.0. They've had Megatron 2.0, but Bumblebee 2.0.
And you kind of have to wonder,
Hot Rod 2.0.
Yeah. And it's just kind of amazing to me with like the Seekers, like Amazon Japan. I got mine through Amazon Japan proper, my Seeker 3.0. And they're gone. They like the Amazon listing is gone, and now everything's like third-party sellers.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. Is demand up? Is there artificial demand? I mean, I kind of have reason to believe that, you know, Hasbro Takara would probably, if they were going to stomp out anybody, would stomp out Fans Toys. I mean, you think about Fans Toys, they don't get KO'd ever.
Right.
There's never been a Fans Toy KO.
Nope.
And Fans Toys figures, and you know, having known people that have worked for and do work for Hasbro, it's interesting. They know about this stuff. And they know that Fans Toys figures keep their value. That's the one crazy thing about Fans Toys is third parties, like when the Hasbro equivalent comes out, that price plummets. With Fans Toys, it tends to hold its value. I think Shockwave is the only one, or Quakewave is the only one where that figure is, I mean, it still today sells for what it originally did, which was like $80, $90.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, I think that people just also like how solid the figure is. But it's crazy to me that Quakewave did plummet in price, but ultimately it's kind of come back up. It's crept back up to where it was.
Yeah, I've been wondering why Hasbro didn't go after Fans Toys, because they seem like they're a massive competition. Like, people hold them to super high regard, like they're official. Some people only collect Fans Toys.
Yeah. I mean, they went hard on Zeta. And I think Zeta was like the first example of like, okay, look what we can do to this company now. I think Zeta still skirted around it with their Unicron, but I don't think that their Unicron penetrated the market the way that they were expecting it to. I mean, that's the thing, is they deliberately tried to compete with Hasbro, and you know, Fans Toys, I don't think deliberately tries to, but they're getting
Hooligan.
Zeta with the Unicron.
No. Hooligan.
Oh, Hooligan, yeah.
Almost exactly the same time as Rodimus did.
Yeah. Well,
And
notice
that apparently for 3 years. I mean,
I'm
talking
about Rod. No, I'm talking about Hot Rod. Remember Hot Rod 2.0?
Yeah.
Hooligan came out almost the exact same time.
No.
Well,
it
was revealed. Yeah. Yeah, because previously Fans Toys did that with Acoustic Wave. Like when Acoustic Wave was first revealed, it was a couple months later when Takara was like, "Hey, here's our official Masterpiece Soundwave."
Yeah, but that's when that was like when Fans Toys was just coming out.
Well, Acoustic Wave was supposed to be their very first full figure.
Right. But what I'm going at though is, but then they pushed Hooligan for so long, and Hooligan came out just as the same time as Masterpiece Hot Rod came out. So
but that was going back to like when you stepped away. I was saying that like Quakewave has held his value. There was a time when Quakewave was selling really high, and then Masterpiece Shockwave came out, and Quakewave prices dipped down. But then people saw the quality and saw that like Quakewave was a very solid, stable, sturdy figure, which sadly today can't be said about a lot of Fans Toys figures.
The only Fans Toys I own is Quakewave.
Yeah. And he's actually he hasn't gone up in price like that much, but his price is back at like the 90 to 120 range, probably 80 to 110, to be honest. But like there was I actually bought a Quakewave for $20 when he hit his lowest.
I mean, I am not a Fans Toys fanatic. I'm the first to say it. There's actually a lot of things about Fans Toys I'm not a fan of, no puns intended. I mean, I remember when they first came out. Remember, Captured Prey was the only company that did it.
Yeah.
And then they kind of left Orson in the dark.
Yep.
That was actually one of the first things that turned me off to them. And then I always joke around, you know, Fans Toys and fun are not synonymous.
Depending. I mean, I think
they're great for your display, but if you want to be messing with your stuff, which is why again I've always said I hold MMC as my standard.
Yeah, no, MMC is the most fun out of all third-party companies.
MMC make toys, but
yeah.
So I think that Fans Toys, honestly, yes, I think they got cocky. I think they got big for their britches. And I think they should have had their wrists slapped a long time ago, because it's like you said, they're probably more direct competition than any other Takara.
Yeah. I kind of wonder what a post Fans Toys world looks like, because the interesting thing about the third party scape is, like, when third party first came out, and again, I know we're beating a little bit of a dead horse here and there, but when third party first came out, it was way more expensive than official, and that was the thing that turned me off from third party. Is like, well, why do I want to spend the money on these companies? I don't know anything about them. I hear people say that that there's imperfections and QC issues here and there. Like,
that's why I remember when they first came out.
Yeah, like all the people talking about Transistor with the chipping paint, and that he had like a weird odor to him. Those were the things that like kind of turned me away. But it's interesting now. It's like third party is arguably in some cases better quality than official, and it's cheaper.
Yes, you weren't here. We were talking about Starscream 3.0.
Yeah,
looks great, looks fantastic, but
Meteor exists.
Well, not just that. His Hound, spontaneously falling apart. I do not want to be spending. Yes, I know there is the knee fix. You don't do it right. The Tigertron, if you don't do it right, you're going to break his knees. I don't want to be risking that with a Starscream.
Yeah. Oh man, like when I got the Tigertron, I had to do surgery on him. His ankles were reversed, and I wish I took pictures. But
you're spending that much on a figure. That's supposed to be
right. It should be flawless, and you're sitting here worrying about paint flaking off. That's been my argument. It's like, I like Masterpiece, but when I pick up, hey, look, I have an Alicon. This looks like the Alicon from that I remember. This is it's just like I've had this discussion with. I know I've had this discussion with T before, but it's like, if figures looked like this, would you have even bought Masterpiece in the first place? Right. And I just kind of wonder. Like, Fans Toys has gotten cocky, but you do have to wonder, if Fans Toys goes away, what are the ripples of that? Like, do you have people?
Keith does this.
Well, Keith has kind of slowed his releases out, and he's gotten cocky. Like A3U, ages 3 and up, they did that kind of overview video on Dr. Egg, and cool, Keith's coming out with new stuff, but $175 for that?
I did well, but if he still has his. God damn, I want that figure. He's still coming out with his Stunticons.
Well, yeah, if he ever releases that goddamn trailer, that's what I want more. But it's just like, look, you get this, and there is a retail version of this available.
Oh, and that's where I'm going. That is where Starscreamer is throwing his money.
Because honestly,
I have no interest in Dr. Egg.
No. Well, Dr. Egg is a whole different. Dr. Egg in itself should be its own conversation, but in general,
because I have the Earthrise version of this, and I have the Pit of Judgment version now. And the Pit of Judgment version, this is just going to be my display quintesson that's going to go with my movie stuff.
Well, I really don't think Dr. Egg should have been made, to be honest.
I think it should have been made, but I think it should have been a $40.
You're holding the $40 version,
right? Right. I think it should have been a $40 thing with bendy tentacles.
I'm just saying, I think they shouldn't have even tried that. That's a whole different discussion topic unto itself. I'm talking about everything else that X-Transbot does. if Fans Toys goes away, again, am I doing the meme guy? Am I doing the meme thing right? I'm not in my yellow suit, but
I just think that if Fans Toys goes away, I wonder what's going to happen. Or third party company are they going to do it to be like the sacrificial lamb, or well, not the sacrificial lamb, but I think is it going to be like a head on a spike, because they go after Fans Toys. I think all of the other third-party companies are going to be running scared. Now, what does that mean for Masterpiece? Because if you I guess my point is, I say that to say this: if you get rid of Fans Toys and all the third-party companies are kind of scared, and they're like, well, if we release something, we're going to have to do it under a different company name, et cetera, et cetera. I think that they're going to shake it up, and they're going to piss off half the fan base, because I think there are a lot of people that just collect Masterpiece these days,
right,
because they're like, I can get my Takara, I can get my Fans Toys. They're kind of insured representations of characters.
Yeah, but the legality of it all, and this is the whole thing, of course, is that yes, these are all still the Takara designs.
Oh yeah.
And in the perfect business world, you should only be buying your Transformers from Takara, or if someone is licensing them, like 3A.
Yeah. I just think
or 3-0, whatever,
What's that say?
I've seen some collections where people have 2 of each only official Masterpiece, and I'm like, wow, that is discipline. How can they even do that?
Because that's what they're supposed to, because they're supporting the company that gave them what they loved.
Yeah. Now, for me, if third party were to go away, I would be all right. I don't want it to go away, but I'd be all right. I'd be spending a whole lot less.
Yes, that's the whole thing. Well, I mean, my collection's already diversified, so.
But I feel like if they go after like one of the big dogs, I think that they're going to underestimate a lot of fans, not just here, but in China, overseas. They're going to be like, okay, well, third party's done. It's killing my interest. I think that there are a lot of fans that collect the official just because they're collecting the scale at this point.
I got a weird question. Is there anybody who's collecting this scale of figure, your Masterpiece figure, under the age of 30?
I know a few.
Okay, that are under the age of 30.
Yeah, I know a few.
Okay.
Thinking back, I used to only collect official because Hasbro was releasing them here at a cheaper price. So I used to just wait for Hasbro to release it.
Oh, yeah.
Then they stopped. And now you have no choice but to pay the expensive price, which was
Ultra Magnus. Remember all the people on TFW that, like, when Ultra Magnus came out, they're like, I'll wait for the Hasbro.
Mm-hmm.
And it never came.
Right.
Well,
actually, I thought we were never getting any of them, because when the Datsuns came out, that was forever.
And we never got Blue Streak here.
We did. He was at Toys R Us.
I'm sorry, Smokescreen. Smokescreen never came out. Yeah. Well, Martin says Takara MPs are purely profit driven, and it shows in their character choices and material choices. Third party seems to be doing it. I would love, or at least more so. I agree to most of that. I think that the beautiful part about Masterpiece that I've said over the years is that they do redos, but they can keep people engaged, because it's like you can always get a Prime, you can always get a Megatron, you can always get the popular characters, and if you missed out on it, chances are they'll reissue it or they'll do a better version of the character. But I do agree that they're, especially with Hound and Tigatron, the materials could be a whole lot better.
So even they're profit driven. We got hooked on Transformers because we were watching 30-minute toy commercials every Friday at 4:00 every Monday through Friday.
Another argument I've made with people too, and I'm in a few group chats, and I made an argument that, like, look, if you've ever collected Chigokin
whole different.
Yeah, Chigokin will make masterpieces look like a complete ripoff.
Yes,
and do. You kind of look at and it was like, oh no, you're full of it. You don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, I do fucking know what I'm talking about. You get a Chigokin piece, and what you get for the cost, what you get with paint, materials,
Quality.
build quality, yeah, it's night and day. And I feel like there's a lot of people that are just willing to accept that. Oh well, the Takara's, you don't understand the engineering costs. I'm like, have you messed with Die Rugger?
Right. Even Go Line is really close to $300 is really close to what they're charging for a Starscream 2.0.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that I'm willing to bet the Go Line is way better quality. And it's a lot of engineering because it's 5 separate figures and all the accessories it comes with.
Yeah, and all the articulation and hidden articulation.
Oh, yeah,
yeah, Go Line was amazing. Let's talk about, I hate to say substandard, but even the Megazord, Daizujin. Now, compared to Go Lion, it's an inferior piece, but I would still put that over
chains in the Triceratops horns.
Yeah.
Imagine Takara doing something like that. They'd be using inferior chrome.
They'd be using plastic.
Yeah.
They'd be using plastic, period.
Yeah. I think that the movie masterpiece stuff is a good value for money, to be honest.
Well, that Starscream kind of tanked.
And that's a discussion for another day, but I wonder is that Hasbro or is that Target?
I think that's Target.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
F Target for me.
Yeah.
6 months ago, I was Target fanboy. Oh, look, they're exclusives. Where's that dead horse? Beat it. Anyway. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with Fans Toys, to be honest. I'm sure that if they get in hot water, they'll start changing names. But I kind of feel like
toys for fans,
right? And that's the thing about third parties; it was filling the gaps in our collection. That was the beautiful part about it. And now it's kind of like it's turned into its own business. Again, there are a lot of talented designers, but we're seeing Unique Toys going away with their movie masterpiece.
That's a damn shame.
It is. The Galvatron's going to be the last one, and then the price of that has skyrocketed up, which I should probably message Nate and be like, hey, are you getting any of those? Because
it would be nice if they hired some of these third-party people and let them pump out official figures and lower the price.
And that's kind of where I wanted to get with this. And there are some people that argue, well, hey, the prices are not too high with Takara, but it's getting ridiculous, and I think they're going to start forcing a lot of people out of the hobby. Especially with the price of food going up. And
everybody being out of a job.
Yeah. But I feel like the prices are far higher than they need to be for what we're getting. And for anybody that's trying to deny that, they hey, pick up a Chigokin piece, pick up a really any Bandai figure, and tell me that the value for money, and Bandai figures, don't get me wrong, they're still expensive, but
even the model kit. Some of the model kits, the boxes are huge, and you get a lot of pieces in there, and they're so cheap.
Yeah, like for what you get in a perfect grade Gundam for, and I don't really think the price of perfect grade Gundams is budged. They're still about like 140, 150 depending. And what you get in there, it's just it's nuts. Now there's a lot of work required.
Or even just get a metal build.
Yeah, get a metal build Gundam.
Oh, my nose is going nuts.
But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see where we go in 2021 with Fans Toys. I know that they still have their Stunticons. It's also interesting. Now, I guess one thing we'll get into here and now is that we do have TFCon, the virtual TFCon, coming up next weekend. I know there's going to be a third-party panel. Maybe we should do a live figure action coverage of the third-party panel. Maybe that'd be something to do. Either that, or we'll definitely do. What's that, T?
What day is that?
I believe it is Saturday next week.
All right.
Or
I'll
at
probably be
least
working, but we could do a follow-up show.
Yeah, we'll do a follow-up show and just do a recap of it. It's going to be interesting to see what third party is doing. I mean, we haven't had any TF cons this year. Orlando was canceled. Toronto was canceled. Chicago was canceled. The next ones are going to be Toronto and Baltimore, hopefully. Please get back to normal life so we can have the Baltimore TF con in 2021. That's all I ask.
Cool. Good note.
So, it'll be interesting to see what happens and what we hear from third parties this coming weekend, what they actually are willing to reveal. Because we still haven't seen Fans Toys Dead End. So it's going to be interesting. It's either going to be a lot or it's going to be not a lot. I'm sure we'll see a lot of Legends at the very least, but
maybe they're still working on Fort Mac.
Yeah, I remember where we saw. I think it was even TFCon Reston last year. We saw all those reveals for Moss and their bikes, and those never even came to fruition.
Yeah.
So I'd love to see somebody buy those designs up and just produce them. But I think we've ranted and rambled enough. I think we'll wrap it up for this evening. As always, where you at are now in the show notes.
Down here.
So if you watch us on YouTube, if you want to find out where we're at, go ahead, Dave.
I was going to say, be sure to check out Nate's Toys and Collectibles. I think he is getting back in the swing of things.
Yeah, I just an update on Nate. Talking to him, he seems like he's doing as well as he could be for somebody in the situation. I know he's been very grateful for anybody that's reached out to him, and our thoughts and prayers go out to Nate and his family. It's a very, very difficult situation, but it does seem like he's got stuff coming in, and he's looking forward to getting that stuff out. So,
okay,
but yeah.
Coolness.
Yeah. Anyway, that'll do it for tonight's episode. Again, if you're watching this here on YouTube, if you haven't already, kill bots and slam that like button because it really helps us out. Hit the subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and that'll do it for tonight's episode. It's been great hanging out with y'all, and we will see you all again. Same figure action time. Again, sorry about tonight's snafu. Start with the late start, but hey, technical difficulties happen.
In like 10 minutes to see if you can see the first half hour.
Yeah. Hopefully that's all there. So it gives you an excuse to go back and see what you missed out on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
Peace out, everybody. Have a great night and a great weekend.
Good night.
See ya.